Hello all, welcome to set 2 of electrostatics now. So after reading electrostatics 1, you should be in a position to answer most of the questions. That is why I will start directly with the example problems, that is 8.9, 8.10 and 8.11. We will go one by one and please make a note of the important formulae. So if you look at example 8.9, page number 195, what they have given is, they have given a charge. And if you notice the charge that they have given, it is charge of an electron, minus 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. They have said that it is at a distance 0.1 meter. Actually, they have given 10 centimeter, but we take it as 0.1 meter. They have also given potential as 4000 volts. They have also given potential as 4000 volts. They also have mentioned one important statement. They are suspended in equilibrium. Equilibrium force or equilibrium means one force is equal to the other force, or the forces cancel each other. I have been asked to find the mass. Therefore, three things are given in the question. One is charge, one is the distance, one is potential. I want to find the mass. To find mass, we will come to it later. First, see, V is given, R is given, and you know from our few table this formula, V is equal to ER. In the textbook they have used differential. There is no need to get confused with the differential. We can directly use this formula, V is equal to ER. From there, E is equal to V by R. And if I say E is equal to V by R, V is 4000 and R is 0.1. Therefore, I will get the answer 4 into 10 power 4, but I have taken it as negative. Negative because charge is given as negative, so my potential also will become negative. That is the reason there is a negative charge here. Some cases people don't put it, that I'll explain later on, in which cases you do not put it. If you know that this negative and this negative will cancel in future and give us positive answer. But as of now, 4 into 10 power 4 is the magnitude. So we even got V. But what they have asked in the question, they have asked what is the mass in the question. They have not asked what is V. We found out V using the formula V is equal to ER. Now to find mass, I make use of this statement, suspended in equilibrium. Equilibrium means two forces should be same. Since it is suspended, the weight goes down. What is weight? Mg. And that force is equal to the electric force. And electric force from current electricity, the most basic formula for electric force is QE. People who do not know, please make a note. This is not from this chapter. This is from 11th electrostatics and current electricity 12th. Electric force, there is something called magnetic force. Together it is called Lorentz force. But if we just take electric force is QE. Now since it is suspended, the force acting downward is nothing but the weight. That mg will be equal to electric force, which is QE. Therefore, if I do mg equal to QE, I have a parameter called m. From there, we can get m equal to QE by g. Q given, E found out, negative will give positive. Remember, mass cannot be negative, that is why positive. Therefore, even if you have got this answer as positive, you have to assume this as positive. If you have taken this as negative, assume this as negative. Both cases you will get the right answer. And G is not given. Therefore, G they have taken it as 9.8. And if you solve this, you will get the answer 6 point something kg. Please remember, G, if they have not given in the question, you can approximate it even to 10. But if they have given it in the question, we have to take it what they have given. Otherwise, we can take it as 10. But in the textbook, the substitution is 9.86 alpha G. If you notice, example 8.9. That is why for this question, we have used two formulae. One is V is equal to ER, and the second one is this force, which is your equilibrium, which is electric force is equal to your gravitation, that is your weight, mg. Now, immediately next, if you see example 8.10, page 196, if you come to that question, if you read that question, you will see the data I have written on the board. They have given charge 1, 5 nanocoulomb. They have given charge 2, minus 2 nanocoulomb. And you know nanocoulomb is 10 power minus 9 coulomb. Therefore, Q1 is 5 into 10 power minus 9 and Q2 is minus 2 into 10 power minus 9. And they have given coordinates 2 centimeter 0, 0, 20 centimeter 0, 0, 2 centimeter 0, 0 and 20 centimeter 0, 0. Therefore, if you see from vectors, the distance of this is actually x, this is y, this is z. This is x, this is y, this is z. Y and z are anyway 0, 0. The distance or the distance between 20 and 2 will anyway become 18. The distance between 20 and 2 will anyway become 18. What they have asked? They have asked electrostatic potential energy. Now you might not have seen electrostatic potential energy in the table, my few table, FEWE. But you know that work done is same as potential energy. You know that work done is same as potential energy, or work done and energy are the same, both are joule. In other words, they are asking us to find work done. In the question they have asked, what is your electrostatic energy or electrostatic potential energy? Electrostatic potential energy is denoted by U, but the formula is same as W. The formula is same as W. Therefore, if you look at the formula what they have substituted in the text as well as over here, we get U is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R, which is the formula for work done. Again, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is 9 into 10 power 9. Q1 5 nanocoulomb, Q2 minus 2, and the distance you got 18. But since it is in centimeter here, I have to convert into meter, which is 18 into 10 power minus 2 meter. Therefore, I will get the answer as minus 5 into 10 power minus 7 joule. Now, energy can be negative unlike mass. Therefore, answer will be kept as negative, and if you look at the unit is joule. Therefore, 8.9 and 8.10 can be solved directly from the table FEWE. There is one more question which can directly be solved from that table view. It is this. If you look at example 8.11 and if you look at page 197, if you see this system is given. And if you look at the system, they are asking what is the electrostatic potential energy of the system. Means I have to find complete potential energy of the system. And if you notice, they have given a square with the side R and the charges are plus Q, minus Q, minus Q. Now please look at it on the board. I will solve it in front of you. Now total potential energy, first let me name this as A, B, C, D. If you look at it, I named it as A, B, C, D. First thing let me tell you, the total electrostatic potential energy is nothing but electrostatic potential energy between A and B plus electrostatic potential energy between A and C plus electrostatic potential energy between A and D, continue, plus potential energy between B and C plus potential energy between B and D plus potential energy between C and D. Check, there are 6 terms. So the total potential energy of the system is between A and B, A and C, A and D, between B and C, B and D, and between C and D. And also they have not told one thing, the distance between A and C over here, if you see, it is nothing but the diagonal of the square. And what is the formula for diagonal? If the side is R, the diagonal will be root 2R. The diagonal of the square will be root 2R. Now, if you look at the formula substitution, it will be the same formula like this. But now I have to put it between A and B. Therefore, look at the board now. Therefore, total electrostatic potential energy. What is electrostatic potential energy between A and B? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Q1, Q2 by distance. Q1, Q2 by distance. What is the charge at A? Plus Q. What is the charge at B? Plus Q. What is the distance between A and B? R. Similarly, if I want to do between A and C, tell me what will happen. It is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. At A, I have plus Q. At C, I have minus Q. And distance between A and C, nothing but the diagonal of the square. Diagonal of the square is root 2 into side. plus A and D. A and D. Therefore, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Charge at A is plus Q, charge at D is minus Q, and the distance between them is R. Very quickly we'll go to the next three terms. Electrostatic potential energy between B and C. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. B is plus Q, C is minus Q by R. 1, 2, 3, 4. Plus, fifth one will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Fifth one is between B and D. Between B and D is this, between B and D. Therefore, it is plus Q minus Q by root 2R, plus last one between C and D, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught C minus Q, D minus Q upon distance is R. Now if you notice, in all terms, first term, second term, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is common. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is common. You take that out and simplify the remaining terms, which is a direct simplification, which is the last step in your textbook problem. You can leave the answer in whatever form you get. There is no need to simplify it to a particular term unless it's an MCQ. In MCQ, you should get the right answer A, B, C, D, but this kind of problem won't come as an MCQ. Therefore, take 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught outside. You can even take Q square outside. If you notice, plus minus will come to it later. Whatever term you get inside, you can leave it at that. Therefore, we have done back-to-back three problems, 8.9, 8.10 and 8.11, all making use of our FEW table, F-E-W-E. Okay. Now, more examples this type plus other examples what we come, we will do it in session 3 because we will have to do one or two derivations. But for now, we will proceed to the next topic. We have finished our FEW table, we have finished equipotential surfaces, we have finished the Coulomb's law, what is electrostatics. Now what we will do is, now we will study the concept of a capacitor. We will study the concept of a capacitor. What is a capacitor? How many types of capacitors are there? And what happens when capacitors are connected in series and what happens when capacitors are connected in parallel. Therefore, let me show it to you on the board, the formula, the definition, and what do you mean by what is a capacitor. Now please remember one thing, the other word for a capacitor is a condenser. Therefore, in the exam, if you get condenser, if you get capacitor, all mean the same thing. Therefore, don't get confused. Now, what is a capacitor? Listen to the definition very carefully. It is a system of two equal and opposite charges separated by some insulator or a dielectric. Okay, therefore I have two conductors which are equal and oppositely charged. Therefore, capacitor is a system of two equal and oppositely charged conductors, but in between they are separated by some dielectric or some insulator. Now, condenser is the other name for a capacitor. Also, there are many types of capacitors, but let me show you the three main types of capacitors. Therefore, the first main type of capacitor is parallel plate capacitor. The first type of capacitor is parallel plate capacitor. In that, see the word, I have parallel plates. And what is the definition of a capacitor? Definition of a capacitor is two equal and oppositely charged conductors separated by some dielectric. Let me show that by dielectric K. And always a good habit to ground the negative plate. So this is how you represent a parallel plate capacitor. Therefore, if you look at the definition, it is a system of two equal and opposite charged conductors separated by some dielectric. Let me show you one more. It is cylindrical capacitor. Cylindrical capacitor, if you notice, I have one outer cylinder and I have one inner cylinder. Okay, now inner cylinder is positively charged, outer cylinder is negatively charged, and always a good habit to ground the outer cylinder, that is the negative. So let this be cylinder A, let this be cylinder B. Now remember, in cylindrical capacitor, they are coaxial cylinders, in the sense they have the same axis, inner cylinder, outer cylinder, and they are separated by some dielectric K. This is your cylindrical capacitor. If you notice one thing in both, see, I have not put anything between positive and negative. Here also I have not put anything between positive and negative, because according to the definition of a capacitor, between positive and negative plates, or between positive and negative charge, nothing should come. For example, if I draw a parallel plate capacitor like this, it is wrong, because between positive and negative I got something this way. Therefore, this is wrong. Secondly, even this representation is wrong, because again between positive and negative I have a conductor. That is why you should be very careful. Between positive and negative, nothing should come in between. Look at this. Between positive and negative. In the exam, if you take negative this way, you will get 0 marks. You have to keep negative and positive separated only by a dielectric. Now let me show you the third main type of capacitor. Remember, there are many types, but we will study the three main types. One is a parallel plate capacitor, one is a cylindrical capacitor, and the third one is a spherical capacitor. Third one is a spherical capacitor. Now spherical capacitor, same way, two spheres. This will be concentric spheres, again with the same center, A and B. This will have positive charge, this will have negative charge, and the negative plate is grounded. Again, if you notice, nothing between positive and negative except dielectric K. K is called the dielectric constant. Therefore, if you look at all three diagrams on the board, parallel plate capacitor, cylindrical capacitor, and a spherical capacitor, you will notice between positive and negative there is nothing except dielectric constant K, and always the outer plate is preferably negative and it is grounded. And the definition of capacitor is two equal and opposite conductors separated by some dielectric. This is the definition of capacitor. And the unit of capacitance is farad, denoted by capital F. And the most basic formula for a capacitor is this: Q equal to CV. That is, C is equal to Q by V. Where what is Q? Q is the charge. What is C? C is the capacitance. And what is V? V is the potential. Therefore, I have three terms. One is Q, C, V. This is the main formula for a capacitor. Q is equal to CV, where Q is the charge, C is the capacitance, and V is the potential of a capacitor. What is the unit of capacitance? Unit of capacitance is farad, denoted by capital F. Now, in resistors, you have studied, when resistors are connected in series, what happens? You have Rs is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3 plus ... And if they are connected in parallel, you know what happens? It is 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus ... Similarly, now we will derive what happens when capacitors are connected in series and what happens when capacitors are connected in parallel. Before that, You should know two important concepts. When any component is connected in series, you should know this, which I have done it in the past. When any component is connected in series, voltage adds up, charge or current remains constant. And when any component is connected in parallel, current adds up or charge adds up and potential remains constant. This is the basic that you have studied even in your 11th standard. Let me repeat again. Important points. What is the unit of capacitance? Unit of capacitance is farad. What happens when you connect component in series? When you connect component in series, potential adds up, charge or current remains a constant. And in parallel, what happens? In parallel, charge adds up, voltage remains constant. Now the derivation is, what is the series equivalent capacitance and what is the parallel equivalent capacitance? What is series equivalent capacitance and what is parallel equivalent capacitance? So we'll do the derivation of series capacitance and we'll do the formula for parallel capacitance. Now look at the board. Let me do the derivation of capacitance in series. When I do the formula or the derivation of capacitance in series, let me take three capacitors in series and let them be called C1, C2, C3. This is a series combination of three capacitors. And you know the main formula for capacitor? Main formula for capacitor is Q is equal to CV, the most fundamental formula for condenser or capacitor. Now in this derivation, let me call capacitor as condensers so that you get an idea that capacitors are also called condensers. So I have taken three condensers in series, C1, C2 and C3, and I have a charge that is the formula Q is equal to CV. Now you know in series, can I say the total voltage in series will be V1 plus V2 plus V3 plus whatever Vn, because in series voltage adds up, charge and current remain constant. Let me simplify. You know Q is equal to CV. Therefore, can I say V is equal to Q by C? This is Q by C1 plus Q by C2, Q by Cn. If you notice, I have taken Vs as Q by Cs, V1 as Q by C1, V2 as Q by C2. Remember, I have not taken Q1, Q2, Q3 because charge remains constant. Therefore, throughout it is Q. Therefore, I can write Q by Cs is equal to Q common 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 plus dot 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 1 by Cn. Cancels. Therefore, capacitance in series 1 by Cs is equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 plus 1 by Cn. Same as resistors in parallel. Therefore, the three condensers in series or any condensers in series, the equivalent capacitance is same as parallel resistance. Just check. Therefore, 1 by Cs is equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 plus dot 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 1 by Cn. I made use of two logic. One is the basic formula for capacitance, and the second logic that I made use of is when capacitors or when any components are connected in series, voltage adds up, charge remains constant. Now let us go to the next derivation where condensers are connected in parallel. Condensers are connected in parallel. For that, let me take three condensers in parallel. First condenser, second condenser, and my third condenser. So my three condensers are in parallel. Now you know in parallel what happens? In parallel charge adds up. Therefore, can I say total charge in parallel is charge 1 plus charge of condenser 2 plus charge of condenser 3 and so on. If I want to simplify, I have charge in parallel. Q1 is equal to C1V plus C2V plus dot 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 CNV. Again, if you notice, I can take QP as, if you notice the whole line, I have not touched V. V is always V. I have not taken V1, V2, V3 because in parallel, voltage remains constant, only charge adds up. Therefore, I take CPV is equal to, V is constant, therefore can I cancel this V and this V? Therefore, equivalent capacitance in parallel is nothing but C1 plus C2 plus dot 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 Cn. This is your equivalent capacitance in parallel. Same as resistance in series. Resistance in series is R1 plus R2. This is capacitance in parallel. Therefore, the definition of capacitor, three types of capacitors. What is the fundamental formula for capacitors? What is the formula when capacitors are connected in series? And what is the formula when capacitors are connected in parallel? This is the formula. Now, more on capacitors and more on potential and dipole we will study in electrostatics session 3. Thank you.